Hello, everybody. Welcome to my show. I'm very honored to have the San Diego Republicans, young Republicans.
Yeah.
Do we not have younger? Oh, there it is right there. It's amazing what happens when you don't wear glasses. So anyway, I'm excited because I used to be a young Republican in Arizona many years ago, and I was really, I liked the enthusiasm of that organization, which I feel your club has too. And we're going to learn a little bit more about what you all do. But was introduced, of course, our guest today, President, excuse me, I'm going to cough. I get it out of the way. President and Chairman Cynthia Kaui. Thank you for being here, Cynthia.
Thank you.
And Membership Director Cole Marting.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You know, it'd be really cool if we get your name Marketing, Cole Marketing.
Wouldn't that be brilliant?
Wouldn't that be a great branding name? Cole Marketing.
Got to work on that.
But I like Marting.
Thank
Marting's
you.
very good.
Thank you.
Sounds very much like a potential senator to me.
Don't say that.
Doesn't
Don't
it
get me
sound like
started.
that?
Oh yeah, someday he's going to be the next United States president.
Heard it here.
Is that what you want to be?
President one day. I love serving. That's kind of my passion. So wherever that leads me, I'd be stoked with.
So let me start with our president here, of course, Madam President. Can I use that adjective?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. How did you get involved with the San Diego Young Republicans?
So interesting enough, I always grew up conservative, but I didn't talk about politics as a family growing up. So I got activated after the 2016 presidential election. I was a college student, and if you could refer back to that, that was the Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton campaign. So it was some wild times to be a student. But after that, politicking became a hobby. And then after the 2020 election, I got involved with the San Diego local county Republican Party and then became a young Republican member since then. And in January 2023, last year, I got elected as the president and chairwoman. It's been such a huge blessing. And I spend all my free time stewarding the organization, but I'm so privileged to be able to have that opportunity to do so.
Very nice. And how did you get involved?
Man, the algorithms brought me to Cynthia. That's how I like to say it. I was on Twitter, following really COVID and my return back from DC and being professional politics at the RNC. Came back and took a break from politics. I sat there and, I was with my then girlfriend, now my wife, and we're saying, hey, we just need to take a break post Trump Clinton election and especially the Joe Biden and Trump election. And so we took about 6 months off. And then I realized that, hey, politics is fantastic. There's no better way to change the environment and the community and the world around you than getting involved in politics. And so I was on Twitter one day and I see, hey, there's a young Republican event coming up. I identify as a young Republican. Let me go check it out. And so went there, hung out with a lot of great folks, and quickly realized that, hey, this is an organization that could really grow in San Diego County, and might as well get involved, be around like-minded individuals.
We are a group of the Republican Party, of course, that we are the underdog right now.
No doubt.
Because of this, because of media. Media has painted this picture. Republicans are a certain way. We've heard the words racism. We've heard a lot of things that are not true. Yeah. And I know a lot of Republicans from all walks of life, from all cultures. So how do you feel? You said earlier that there was an increase in membership. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so when we originally relaunched the club, really post-COVID and with a brand new board of directors, we had a handful of members. And so we really started focusing on where can we provide value for the members, right? We can host events, we can host social events, we can host political events, we can host service events. So we started putting on these events and getting more vocal on social media and really expanding our network. And quickly, today, we're at a 550% increase in membership since we relaunched just about a year ago.
So do you feel that is it more being like-minded that's increased your membership, or is it the fact that you have these events that are also helping?
Our membership is diverse, whether, very different backgrounds. You have folks that are very right-leaning, center-right, even centrist in many ways. What unites us, I think, is the idea of being a general conservative and a young person, right? There's not a whole lot of young conservatives in California, but we're working to change that. And so when you can get into a group, especially post-college or in your first, second, third jobs where establishing a social network is so important, and truthfully more difficult than it was in college or in high school. And you start surrounding yourself with quality folks, you realize, hey, this is kind of fun. It's not just about the event and seeing the local mayor talk, but it's about being around people and really having a sense of community.
How do you feel that the Young Republicans could be a pivotal group in San Diego in the next elections? Is there anything you're planning on doing differently that maybe we haven't done in the past?
So, one big effort is getting young Republicans involved at the ballot box and getting involved and civically engaged beyond voting. What I mean by that is stepping up to run for office and also supporting our campaigns, ballot initiatives, and candidates that are putting themselves out there. So, for Central Committee for the local county party in San Diego, we actually recruited a lot of different young Republican members to step up and run. So we're very excited to be able to support them in that effort after the primary. After the primary election is over, the board of directors is going to be issuing endorsements for different ballot initiatives that are going to be on the ballot for November, along with all the federal and the local and the statewide candidates in San Diego County. And after that, the board of directors, we're going to be vetting and looking through all the different races and issuing volunteer deployments in each part of the county.
How much is social media playing a part in elections now?
More than we've ever seen.
And what about something like a TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, I try to stay away from TikTok just because of the spyware aspect.
But I heard that TikTok, and I don't disagree with you, but I heard TikTok, for example, they had an event where they invited Biden and Obama. I forget, maybe at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so I think so in the topic of TikTok, we definitely recognize that it can be polarizing in regards to security, in regards to international affairs. To answer your question directly, I definitely think social media plays a huge factor, not only for our membership, that's how we've been able to recruit and have such an increase in membership, but I think also for elections too, because irregardless of what our personal opinions are on certain platforms, if it's not TikTok, there might be something else coming up.
Like, what about X?
X is definitely a huge platform, and that helped get Cole involved too.
So X was impacted for you?
Absolutely. It's the reason I'm here right now. That's where
So I guess I don't mean to cut you off
No.
because I don't want to forget what I'm saying.
Yep.
So the thing with TikTok was an example. They had 10 million people pop into that thing with Biden and Obama. That's 10 million people that are young, that are listening to what they have to say, that are going to be very effective in the election process. I think we need something like an X or Truth or something else. And maybe, is there another one that maybe I'm leaving out?
Instagram has actually been a huge membership force for us. In fact, a couple weeks ago, because we hit a significant milestone with followers engagement, Cole, myself, and one of our vice presidents, our creative director, we did an Instagram live, and it was actually a lot of fun. Like on Friday night, we were fielding different questions about different races and
Was this live on Instagram?
It was, yeah. We
Yeah.
did a fun Instagram live. We spent like an hour and a half just chit chatting, socializing, and we had a lot of engagement with our followers. So I think, again, for TikTok, even though it can be a polarizing issue, we do think social media can help engage with the public. And I think it'd be a great tool for Republicans in regards to the upcoming election with getting some prospective voters and making sure that we have crossover with the disillusioned Democrats and also those in the middle that are sick and tired of what's going on with the county.
So my show, one thing about, first of all, I love our politics. I love what we're trying to do. I know we're on a lot on the same pages. The parties have changed than what they were even a decade ago. And I can tell you, because I've seen it. If John Kennedy was president today, he'd be a Republican based on all his beliefs. Family values, strong law enforcement, military, communism, things like that, that he was really, that he was what he was about. Today, he wouldn't even be a Democrat. The Democratic Party, to me, it's very socialistic. It's very damaging for the things that we have and the things they're allowed to do in this country. But so I think I agree with you on the whole social media thing. The Republican Party, and I'm going to probably get chewed out for saying it, I'm going to say it again anyway, needs the young Republican group to really step up more than it ever has, because that's the only way we're going to be able to make the impact that we are, because of the social media expertise that your age group has and people my age and my group really don't have, other than Facebook, which is a whole different tool in itself, the Instagram, the X, the Truth. We need to find a way to really conquer and take over those sites and make it ours and be able to help sway people to realize this is what, and it has to be real talk. We can't candy coat things. If we're dropping the ball in an area, um, we need to admit it and say, well, we need to get better at this. It doesn't weaken us by looking at our weaknesses and saying we need to make them stronger. It's being reality, because everybody now, especially your age group, it's all about they can spot a fake a mile away. And you seek truth, you want truth, not just a sight, but you want to make sure that we're getting the best candidates that we can field and get out there to win. We don't just want people to go in just to fill a spot in. We need to find the best of the best for those spots. That's how we're gonna reverse what's going on in this country. And the other way, we have to find a way to I don't know how we can do this, but people have to get back to where you can. It's not what you say; it's how you say it. But we can be different in what our beliefs are, but let's be respectful of each other. We need to find a way to get back to that.
I
Both sides.
I agree with you 100%. Kind of piggybacking in regards to living principles over your party. People don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care about them. And I think that conservatives and Republicans have a huge area of opportunity to do so, especially this election cycle. It's the biggest thing for our membership. They really value being genuine. And that's why our events are so popular, is because when they hang out with, members, people that are around their age range, or when they have the opportunity to meet our elected officials in San Diego County that work really hard, that those are things that are really important to them and things that we've surveyed and we've asked around.
Yeah, and one of the things too is we cater towards our age demographic, right? We host our events at night after folks are done with work. We host our events on the weekends. And so we really try to build around the idea of being a young person, especially here in San Diego County, and what that means. So if we can go ahead and host these events on timelines that work for us and work well for young people in general, we're going to have more folks show up. And that's not something you see with other conservative or Republican organizations in the county.
Well, we need it. Do you ever cover career paths and finding the way for job creation in the future? Does that ever come up?
Oh, yeah. So basically, among our roster of diverse events, one of those is a happy hour with our elected officials. And actually, for viewers that are interested in checking us out, our next monthly event is a happy hour in North County. It's going to be at Colab Public House in Vista. And we're actually going to have a few council members, along with a school board trustee.
Oh, good.
And basically, we have this roster of great speakers that will have a great program and whatnot. But the magic, in my personal opinion, after attending and also helping run these events, is the networking that happens before, in between, and after. So we have, the access to these elected officials. So if there's members that, want to be a staffer and work on the official side, and also because it's election season, these candidates need support with being able to door knock, and even better, there might even be some paid opportunities. Even though we have like a short roster of 4 speakers, we always have a bunch of elected officials show up and candidates. So
Good.
we give the opportunity to recognize those, even if, they weren't able to be on the lineup of speakers.
Very good. I think there's a lot of things going on right now with a lot of younger people having faith in the college institutions, especially after what just happened with Harvard. And I mean, it is what it is. I'm being real about it. And I've seen that your age group seems to have, they're not really happy with the way a lot of this went down. I mean, we've all kind of known it was there anyway for a while, but I think it really blatantly came out during that whole process. Is anything being talked about? First of all, I'm sure, we all have choices of the colleges we want to go to, maybe younger groups of people that haven't, maybe you said you have different, age groups.
Yeah,
You-
we do.
That maybe still or maybe on the fence of what college to go to, or maybe you're going to be or in college and maybe want to change because they don't like the politics that are being played on the campuses. So of course you have colleges that are more conservative that people can go to, but I'm also seeing a leaning towards people looking at the jobs that nobody wants to do, which is the trades.
hmm
Which in this country right now we're very understaffed with the trade industry. Has that been talked about, or has that come up at all? Because there's a lot of good paying jobs in the trade industry.
When you start discussing the issues of our generation, you realize that many jobs today don't require a college degree to do well at. right? And we're seeing that with our membership. We have many members that don't have college degrees or
Really?
dropped out or
Really?
in trades and whatnot.
And how did they become successful?
They worked hard. They worked really, really hard. And I think that's why they can identify as conservative. Everyone who falls on our side of the aisle realizes that you have to pull yourself up by working your butt off all day long. And that's why we get along, because there's no freeloaders in our organization. There's no one who isn't willing to put in work.
Okay. Well, I think we've got to get back to that. And that's an old ethic, is work ethic. And you don't get anything for free. You have to put in the time. If I'm an employer also, and I'm looking for good candidates to work for me, I'm not going to pick somebody based on their skin color.
No.
Right.
I'm going to look, if I want my company to be successful, and I want the person that comes aboard to be successful, because the worst thing in the world would be to hire somebody just because there's a quota to hire a Mexican worker, a black worker, an Asian worker, a white worker, or whatever the deal is. I want to look at the resume,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I'm going to see, and I'm going to call their bosses, and I'm going to call around, and I'm going to get an idea of who I want to bring into this job situation. And I want the best worker I could find. I could care less where they're from or what their color is. We need to get back to that, because we're seeing companies that have believed in that are now being affected. I mean, even like Boeing, for example.
Mhm.
There's questions about that whole thing. Uh, we're looking at university presidents. Um, Whoever gets to the top has to work their butt off. If you have to work it off 3 times more than the average person, whoever you are, you got to do it. There's no shortcuts. So I'm glad to hear that you're saying that you feel that way, because it gives me, and I have we have younger kids,
Yep.
but you're kind of like a little bit older. How old are you?
27.
You're as old as my oldest daughter.
There we go.
29.
Okay, there you go. You could both be my kids. So that makes me feel good. I hear from them what's going on, but there's a fear from even my child right now, the middle child, that's afraid of where she's going to go to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to get in this mess. She wants to go to college and learn and see that everybody's being treated equally, which everybody should be. And so that's a big thing that's very important. But I think your age group is going to have a huge impact on the next election, and hopefully the Republican group, the young Republicans, can be impactful in all the local elections, and get some really good. I would love to see more younger candidates myself.
So would I. That's one of our goals, is to not only help identify the younger folks, but help them get into positions where they can make a change in their community. We need young people on school boards.
We have too many old politicians out there. We need
Yeah.
younger, hungrier, energized, new mindsets, things that we need new blood. That's just my take.
I agree with you. And my whole pitch is the young Republicans are quite literally the future of the party. And we're always very appreciative of those that came before us and helped pave the way. And we recognize the contributions that they've made in our county. And so our goal is ultimately to pay it forward and recognize and, ask for the support needed, because we, as young Republicans, are going to be the next elected officials. We're going to be the next business owners.
Sure.
We're going to be the next community leaders. And so that's why we care deeply about what we do, is making sure we provide that community for them, so that way we can make sure we are contributing and doing our part too.
I'm so excited. I didn't know what to expect out of this interview, but I'm inspired and reinvigorated by hearing what you just shared with me. And you can count me in, as I was going to say, the Silver Fox, but that's something else, as a silver member to help you guys, because I want to be any way I can be of help to you. You can count on Sarah and myself to do that.
Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. And if anyone's listening and wants to be a member, go to SanDiegoYoungRepublicans.org. Membership is $50 a year for ages 18 to 40. And we also have a silver membership for those outside the age range, and $5 a month for a student membership.
Wow. I like the way you smiled at the end there. That's very important. Let's see this book that you knocked out real quick.
Yeah. California's Toughest Challenges and the Common Sense Conservative Ways to Solve Them. Right here. It's a book I wrote really over the last year and a half. Brought you a copy.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look at that this weekend. I took 2 years of speed reading.
There you go.
Nobody even teaches that anymore. I can knock a book out probably pretty quick.
It's an easy read. I try to keep it very high level. How we got here, why is California in this big mess, and then how do we solve the really lowest hanging fruit? Tackle it quick.
There you go, right there. California's toughest challenges and the common sense. There you go. I appreciate both of you being here today. I look forward to seeing one of your clubs coming up, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
And our sponsors, of course. Let me reach across here because there is a long list of names of sponsors that help us put on this show, because without them, I wouldn't be here. So first of all, Sequan Casino is a great sponsor. It helps us put on the biggest educators event in San Diego, where we honor everybody in education. I'd like to thank them for being a sponsor. Attorney King, you see his billboards all over the place, or you maybe see him going down the freeway in his Bugatti or his Rolls Royce with his name all over the place. Thank you, Attorney King, for everything you do and your support. You've been a great friend, and I love working with you, and thank you. Indian Motorcycle, one of our great American companies, is a sponsor of our show. Thank you to Tim Broadhead for everything he does, and we put on pet events to find homes for pets. And that's a great thing we love to do. Who would ever think that Indian Motorcycle would be worried about getting pets, adopted? But they do.
No kidding.
So thank you for everything you do, Indian Motorcycle. Anti-aging doctor, Dr. Melinda Silva, thank you for what you do. I look forward to seeing your new facility opening in Pacific Beach. And she currently is also in Eastlake right now. A company that's been around for over 100 years. It's family-owned, Mule Jewelers. They manufacture everything you can imagine. They buy antiques. They're just an amazing group. I love working with them, and I take all my watches and all my accessories there for them. And I guess I'm going to have to buy Sarah a diamond ring coming up somewhere, so might need to get her fitted for one of those rings. The Loan Queen, Adriana Gibbons. Thank you for saving me on my last 3 loans and getting me situated and being a part of the IQ podcast team. And if you like really good Italian food, Bona Forchetta, the Garage in Coronado. There's, I think, 6 total in San Diego, and a new one opening up in Southern California. And where's Lee Steinberg live? What area is that? Do you remember? Am I throwing you a curveball? Over in the Orange County area, we'll say. And they're going to be opening a new facility over there. They have wonderful Italian food, all made from scratch. Thank you all for your support. Would support these young Republicans in San Diego and abroad, and share this show with your friends, because it is important that we do the right thing, because our country is in trouble right now. I don't think we realize, and we need them desperately. Everybody take care. Anything you want to say?
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in today.
Thank you.
God bless all of you, and we'll see you on the next show.